Hello friends, this is Rahul Singh. So in last video we have seen the basic configuration of RSA Netwitness after installation. So the basic configuration has been done, and today we will discuss the admin module of RSA Netwitness. What all things are present in admin module we will discuss in detail. So uh, let's go to the admin. Okay, here the first tab is host. So click on the host tab. So here you can see all the hosts installed or connected to this admin server. Okay, so currently we have two hosts installed. One is admin server, NW server, and other is log hybrid server. Now on admin server you can see the services, what all services running on each host. So NW server host, we have 12 services running on it. Now here we can see the color is yellow, means something is bad, some service is offline. Yes, here our reporting engine is offline, means that's why it is showing yellow color. Now coming to the log hybrid host, here three services are running on it, and all the services are in healthy state, so the color is green. Now what all things can be done on this host panel? Just tick on the log hybrid. uh, so coming to the first drop down, so here we can remove the host just by clicking on the minus sign. The host will be removed. Now this option is to edit. Now we will try to edit this host. What all option is showing here? It is showing the host name and IP address. Here you can change the host name and IP address, and you can click on save. Now install. So in case of if you have a brand new installation and you want to install some other services like log collector, log decoder, log hybrid, UEBA network hybrid, you can just select it like uh, ESA primary and click on install. Then it will start installing that host here, and it will be show up in this host tab. So we will not install any other service because our system requirement is will not fulfill that requirement because it requires a large number of RAM. Now coming to the update tab, if you click on the update tab, it will give you two options. One is update host and second is check for update. When you click on check for update, it will check you if there is update is available. It will show you a status here. The current version is 11.4. The next version will show up here, and then currently it is showing up to date. But make sure this system must be connected to the live services of RSA Netwitness. But in our live environment we do not have any live connection, so it will not work here. Now once the update is available, just click on the update host. It will automatically get the update files from the live and it will be installed. If you do not have internet connectivity, you do not have your system is your RSA Netwitness is not connected with live, then you can go for manual update process. Now here discover. Suppose you have installed another server and you have also pointed that server to this admin server for connection, but that host is not displaying in this panel where you can click on discover. It will automatically discover newly installed host. So we do not have any newly installed host, so we cannot do anything here. Now reboot host, this option is available where we can reboot any host connected to this admin server from UI just by clicking on the, suppose if you want to reboot admin server, NW server, just click on admin server and click on reboot. it will reboot the server. Okay, now the next tab is services. So the host is the physical host, details are there. Now in services details, what all services running on the that physical host. In service tab you will see all the services at one place. So this is log hybrid concentrated service, log hybrid collector, decoder, admin server, broker. So there are multiple services are running on it. So what all we can do, what all configuration are there, let's see. So let's use the log concentrator. Again the same thing, you can just remove the service, you can edit the service. Now I will show you the uh, configuration, basic configuration, what all configuration are there. So just click on the gear icon, then go to the view. It will point you the some other multiple options like system. We will click on the system, then it will show you the system status of the system details of this concentrator. So the name of the concentrator is log hybrid concentrator, is version, how many memory it is utilizing. So it is utilizing 323 MB of RAM. Now CPU utilization running since uptime, current time, application service detail is present here. Now session service that I have logged in admin as an admin. Now here the concentrator user information, which user is using this concentrator. So currently I am using this as an admin, so my group is administrator. these are these are the roles permission have assigned to me. So these are the basic information is here. So these are the internal processes running in the server. Now here we can click stop aggregation because this concentrator is currently um, aggregating data from decoder. So whatever data coming from decoder, it is being aggregated by concentrator. So if you click on stop, it will stop aggregating. Host task. In host task, we can send multiple commands like reboot host, set network time source, set syslog forwarding. So there are many options are available, many commands are available that we can do from here. If we click reboot host, then we run, it will reboot the host. So that depends on your requirement. You can choose any of this, and you can run it. Now the shutdown services. If you click on it, it will shut down the service. It will not going to shut down host. It will only shut down the service. Shut down appliance services. So it will shut down all the services on these appliances. Now it will reboot the host. Okay. Now we have seen the all the system configuration. Now we'll go to config. What all configuration parameter is available in config. Now in config, in general tab, we can see aggregate services. In previous video we have seen this configuration. First we need to add the decoder, the upstream data source, that is decoder. Decoder is sending data and this concentrator is aggregating data from this decoder. And these are the basic configuration, compression ports and everything. Now aggregation configuration, here we have selected auto start, aggregation auto start. Now aggregate hour is 0. In case of new integration is there, mm, um, so if you select 0, it will start aggregating data from if new decoder is added to it, so whatever data present in decoder, it will start aggregating from beginning. So in such case, the large number of session will come under the behind. So that depends on your requirement. If you select 1 hour, so it will start aggregating data from 1 hour before. So it again depends on your requirement. Now aggregate interval, in every 10 millisecond it will start aggregating, send aggregate request. Now this is the aggregate max session. It will aggregate 5000 event at a time. Now these are the basic service heartbeat configuration. You can change according to a requirement. So it is better to leave it as a default. Okay, so now we general tab, we have discussed the general tab. Now we will go to the files. Here we can see multiple configuration files that is being used by RSA Netwitness. So this file is blank, so I will explain you the most important files only. So the most important file is the index file. Index file is more important. So index concentrator XML, it will show you all the meta keys details. So key description means the meta type. So this is time, name is time, format is time, singleton true, level, index value. So these are the configuration um, that we need to define whenever we define custom meta keys. But this is the default one. It comes with the uh, this is the default file. uh, Whenever you install new concentrator, this file will come by default. But it is recommended not to alter this file. Do not change any kind of changes. Do not make any kind of changes in this. So if you want to add some custom meta keys, you have to go index concentrator custom XML meta key. Here you can define your custom meta keys parameters. So depends on your requirement. No. So depends on requirement, you can create your custom meta keys. And you have to define the key description, a little bit description about what kind of key that you want to create, like source domain, and name will be domain.src. This is the name, it will come under the investigation tab. This will be the actual meta key on which you can perform search. In search you have to use domain.src. Now the format of the what kind of data it will aggregate, it will aggregate text format of data. Singleton is true, and level index value, so it will uh, um, index value means, so this meta key gives you multiple search option. Like for example, I will show you here, domain.src. If you select index none, so it will give you less searching capability. So domain.src, if you go to domain.src, it will give you lot of operators that you can choose. You can give equal to, not equal to, begins, contains, ends, exist, not exist. So this much operator is available. You can do such kind of you can use such kind of operators. But if you select index none, it will give you very less number of operators. It will show you only two values, exist and not exist. So these files are important. So any kind of custom meta keys that you want to create, just edit the index custom XML file and define the parameter here and click on apply, and then click on push. So your custom meta keys will be created. So meta key is basically nothing. It will just hold. It will map the value under whatever data coming from the raw log. It will be mapped some meta keys, like so user.src is the meta key where all the users coming from the raw logs will be come under user.src meta key. It depends on the parser. Destination user will be comes under user.dst. So meta key basically is a parameter key value pair, we can say key value pair, uh, which identify the some particular kind of event, data event. Okay, so concentrator custom XML file is very important. Similarly, we have broker XML file. Right now nothing in this. And similarly we have log decoder file. Same way you can create custom meta key. You have to define your custom meta keys under this blank space. So these are the index decoder custom XML file, index concentrator custom XML file is used to create custom meta keys. Now table map XML file. So table map XML file, it gives you the mapping of meta keys and meta name and format. So in case of if you create some uh, custom if you are creating custom parser, so you have to create custom meta key in your RSA Netwitness, and you have to just uh, um, download the file from Netwitness, and you have to give custom XML table map XML file, and you have to define the definition of new custom meta keys here in the same format. First you have to give mapping in vision name, then name of your custom meta key, your NetWitness name, so it will comes in the NetWitness, and the flags will be transient or transient, none. So depends on your requirement, you can choose. If you choose transient, then data will not be stored in database. If you choose none, then the meta value under the meta key will be stored in the database format text. And this table map XML file that you need to export in log parser tool. So this is a high level of uh, configuration file that not for beginners. So those have been level 2 engineers and level 3 engineers who have good experience of RSA Netwitness can explore these files and can use and can make changes. It is not recommended for fresher or L1 engineer to alter these files. Okay, so similarly we can change any files according to our requirement. Now data retention scheduler. Here we can define uh, threshold, is how many days and how many hours, how many minutes the data should be stored, can be deleted until what time data should be retained, or and what time data should be deleted. You can define days, hours and minutes. Now we can mm, define hours, minutes or date and time, and how frequent the query will run to check whether the data is satisfying this criteria or not. So this is the interval where the query runs, and this is the time period threshold where data will be retained. Now correlation rules. Now correlation, we can create simple correlation rules. Here we can give name anything, malicious IP, malicious connection. Here you can type IP dot src equal to something 20.10.1.3 threshold 5 count. Five instance key under which meta key it should populate. Just click choose alert ID, time window, one 1 minute or 1 hour. So basically we can create simple correlation rules where the rule name is malicious connection. If IP source is this much, if any logs coming from this IP source count is 5, then this rule will be triggered and the value will come under the agent.id meta key in investigate tab. The name will be that meta value will be malicious.connection. The time window is 1 and hour is 1. So in this way we can create custom simple correlation rules. We will not use it now. Now appliance configuration. So this is the basic that we have already discussed. Now coming to the explore. So explore here we can see all kind of configuration file and all entire RSA Netwitness concentrator configuration will be available here. So this is you can explore by going one by one. So configuration, here you can see aggregate auto start, yes, no. So any kind of configuration you can do from here, any kind of configuration changes you can perform from here. So this is a big configuration tree and each and every tree has multiple subtree. So these are the multiple things are inside it. So you can go and explore these values. So as of now I will not explain each and everything because it will be last very time taking. So in overall I can say any kind of configuration changes we can do from here. So it's kind of API or SDK, software development kit, we can say. From GUI you can do any kind of changes. Even we can define partition, we can upload parser, refresh parser, and we can add custom meta keys. So there are multiple kind of things we can do from here. Now coming to the logs. Here you will see the historic log, real-time logs. Uh, like user admin session ID has issued language channel this much. Yeah. So all kind of activity related to audit logs will be seen here. And in historical logs, you will see the older logs. You can choose date, end date, all, debug, info, warning, error, what kind of logs you want to see. You can check here. You can select the component, concentrator or host. So these are the basic configuration, basic things that we can explore it. Now coming to security. So in security there is nothing much. We can add user. Here is administrator, one user is, and we can change password from here. You can do some basic user setting. Timeout, we can set timeout after 60 seconds, it will be timeout. Session threshold we can apply. We can do we can assign the roles, which role is suitable for the users. For I'm logged in as an admin, so admin role is assigned to me. So we have discussed the admin tab for services. Now we will go to the event sources. Java lang illegal augment. Here we are facing some issue. Let me refresh. Yes, event sources. In event sources discovery, here you will see the event sources. Whatever event sources integrated with your RSA Netwitness, it will come here and it will show discovery, score, acknowledge, mapping type, what log collector, from which log collector it is being collected, and which log collector it is being processed. So here you will see all kind of details, but in our lab environment, integration is not, any kind of integration not there, so and this tab is blank. Now manage. Coming to the manage, here you can create a group. Here you can give like Unix description, Unix server. Here you can define condition, all of these or any of these. So you can, any of these depends on your requirement. Now add condition. Okay. Now here you can define log source type equals to Unix, something like that. If you click on save, so it will save, fetch all the, here by default all Unix source, Windows source, critical, Windows PCI, it is the default one, but it will group all the Unix related event source in one place in this group. And here you will see what all the members of this group. Also we can manually give the IP address, host name, means it's kind of detail of that particular event source. So the system management service is not reachable, trying restarting service. So due to the less RAM, the system is facing some issue. So in manage, you can manage all the event sources. Now going to monitoring policy. So this is the same group. First you have to create group here. Now on this group you can create monitoring policy. For example, some log source is not sending logs for 10 minutes. You can create a monitoring policy for that log source, like for all Unix server. Here define minimum threshold, low threshold, one event in time 60, means in 60 minute, if there is a less than one event, you can say just 10, we can give just 10 minute 10. So in 60 minute, if there is a less than 10 minute, then this rule will trigger alarm that the Unix sources, that all the Unix source which are not sending logs, maximum threshold. In case if the Unix log source is sending more logs like 10,000 within 10 minutes, so it will also generate alarm. So basically the low threshold means if the log source is not sending logs or sending very less log, if there is a problem, then this rule will trigger and will notify you कि these log sources are not sending logs. And high threshold means it will tell you that these log sources are sending large number of events. So you can check that. Now notification, once the rule will trigger, it will send a notification. Here you need to define the notification servers like email, SNMP or Syslog. If you define email, configure email, here no email server is configured here. Otherwise it will show the email server. You have to define the recipient and email server and template will be there. Then whenever this rule trigger, that recipient will be defined here, will come, will be notified. Now suppression will be 60 seconds with the same rule is triggering multiple time. So it will not send multiple notification, it will send one notification in 60 minutes. So similarly you can choose SNMP or Syslog for notification server. Okay. Now alarms. So currently we do not have alarms. So if any alarm triggers, it will appear here. Here you can monitor. Here you will see event source, log source type, group, alarm name, threshold violated. So each and everything you will see here. Now setting. Now these are the basic setting that you can explore. Nothing much in this. Now coming to endpoint sources. So the endpoint sources is when your RSA Netwitness is using some endpoint server, the logs or event coming from that endpoint server will be shown here. So you will see agent endpoint, agent file logs, agent windows, everything related to the endpoint server will be seen here. As of now, we do not have any endpoint server, so there will be nothing in this to explain here because we don't have endpoint sources. Now, the most important tab is health and wellness. So it will show you the alarm. Currently there is a problem, cannot connect to system management service. Uh, yeah, so here you will show the alarm related to all the host, all the services. If any service is facing issue, any host is facing issue, any kind of issue, you will see here. It will prioritize the alarm on the basis critical, high, medium. So the first critical alarm, reporting engine service is stopped, means our reporting engine service is offline. So uh, here you will see the detail. Active critical net witness server reporting engine. Here you will see some information that reporting engine service not running on the host. Possible remediation. It will also give you the possible remediation, how to remediate that issue. Attempt to start the service with the following cell command. Like here it is also mentioned the cell command. You have to log in putty in admin server and just copy paste the command and run. It will restart the service. Once the service is restarted, this alarm will be removed from here. Now the log decoder capture not started. Here also it gives you some information that capture is not started on log decoder service. Possible remediation, you have to check the service logs. Now we have to check the host, whether host is host, power supply, and also see the log messages if there any. And if issue is not being resolved, then you need to contact the customer support. Customer support will help you to troubleshoot this alarm. So this tab is very important. You need to monitor each and every day any kind of issues related to NetWitness. Now setting is the basic. Here you can define regex and archiver, warehouse. We are not using archiver and warehouse, so so we can just leave it as it is. Now coming to the system. The system is the basic system configuration is there for info. Here you can see the current version, build number, license server ID. Okay, now updates. Here automatically download information from new update every day, but here we need to define the RSA live URL. This is the lab environment. I do not have any RSA live account. You need an RSA live account uh, to connect with the live services. So currently I don't have, so just leave it blank. In your environment you can just a repository URL. Now coming to license, here you can see the license detail, throughput license, appliance license, UBA endpoint, everything. So currently we do not have any license in this lab environment, so nothing is there. You can download the offline request. Then once you downloaded the offline request, you need to upload here. Now generate type of alerts. Suppose if your some host license will be expired after 10 days, then you want to be notified before 10 days expiring any licenses. You can configure the time duration or days and you can choose the notification type. Okay, it will notify you via email Syslog SNMP. Now coming to the email. Now here you have to define the email server like mail.google.com. For your company, you have to give your own mail server uh, server detail here, and your from address, port number, username, password. Now this is the basic email statistic. So for example, in your organization you must have any mail server. Just give that mail server details. Define port number. If you are using SSL, then tick on SSL, and in the from email address you can choose anything, and you can choose do not RSA, reply RSA, this is default, and username, password. Click on test. If test is successful, then click apply. Now coming to the global notification. Now global notification, here we have four kind of notification. One is email, SNMP, syslog, and script. So here you have to define the output like SNMP, uh, e- email notification. Here you have to define the name, email server description, email address, template. You have to choose any template. If you have custom template, then you can choose that one, custom template. Here you can define subject. Click on save. Your output notification will be configured. Then you have to define server. Here we have only one server. For email server, you have to define name, description, server and hostname, IP address. You have to define the SMTP server or server hostname or IP address. Same thing, username, password, max alerts per minute 500. The basic configuration that you need to define. Now template. There are lot of default template, but you can create some custom template according to a requirement. So give the template name, template type, audit, logging, event stream analysis, event source, health alarm. So depends on your requirement, you choose, and you have to give the template. You have to create the template from yourself, otherwise you have to take help of professional services. So let me show you some template. uh, Default here is the template. Here in this way we can create template. It is little bit tricky, so it requires practice to create template and knowledge. So you can create from yourself, but it requires practice. Okay, so suppose you want to add some syslog configuration, syslog settings. So you want to do syslog settings, so just click on the first output option, choose syslog. Here give development syslog. Okay, description test, leave it as it is, click save. Now dev syslog is configured. Now we will define the actual server. Now syslog, here name you can give dev syslog, development syslog, description test, IP 10.2.3.4, anything. Now server port is 5.4 UDP, click save. Okay, now the dev syslog is enabled. Now template, we can use default template. Now we have defined the syslogs. Syslog server configuration has been done. Now coming to the legacy notification syslog, this is the basic setting is there. You can leave it as it is, as blank. Here the SNMP server name, you can give the server name of SNMP, server port, SNMP version, trapo ID, community string. So this will be given by your network team or some other team. System login, you will see the real-time logs or historical logs here. Error info, any kind of logs you will see. You can also filter out by all trace debug info warning. Setting is the max log size. You can define the maximum log size. Backup files 9 days, 9 files. So these are the basic settings. Now global notification. Click on the global notification. Configuration name, notification server. We have only one. We have configured Syslog, so we can choose Syslog. So depends on your configuration in backend, it will come under the drop down. You can choose the global notification and you can give any name as a configuration. Now jobs. Now here whenever you download raw logs or anything, it will come under the jobs. Or you upload anything, you download anything, so it will come under the job. Live services. Here the live services, you need a live account. Then you can here it is not connected, you have to sign in. Live services where you can download the updates, live parser, rules, feeds, anything. URL integration. URL integration is something that we will not use here. So we will leave it. Now context hub, context menu. So these are the some external integration is there. Science, Google IP history, URL void, search. So I will explain you detail when we do investigation in RSA Netwitness. So I will explain in that video. So investigation, so this is the basic one. It should be leave it as blank, nothing important. ESA analytics not present. Now here the HTTP proxy setting. If you want, if your NetWitness has connection, you don't want your NetWitness to go internet directly, you have to define proxy. It will go to the proxy, then internet. Now the NTP setting, network time protocol. This is important. So this is very important. You have to define some NTP settings. So from your organization, if using NTP server, you can define here. Okay, so this is system is done. Now we will go to the security. In security, we can create user, we can assign roles. Like there is one user, I will create one another user like Rahul email, Rahul @gmail.com, password anything. Okay, full name, it will be the username, full name. Now we will give role, what kind of role I want to assign. I will give SOC manager role. Click add, click save. So password does not meet the correct. Okay, so it requires some complex password. We'll give alphanumeric password. Okay, now click on save. Yeah, so Rahul user has been created. In this way we can create a user, and also we can delete a user. We can enable user. By disable user, click on disable, the Rahul will be disabled. The Rahul user will not be able to access. Now we have to enable, then click on the Rahul tab, then click on enable. Now to reset password, just click on the reset password or unlock. Now roles. Here you can, this is the by default roles available. You can also create some custom roles by clicking on it. Just go to the roles. Now you can like you want to create some role like SOC analyst, SOC L1, SOC L1 investigation. L1. Attribute query timeout, core session threshold, just you can leave it blank. Important is you have to define admin server. So this user, what all permission that you want to give this user. First, admin server, choose on the admin server. If you click on a star, means it will give all access to all the components of RSA Netwitness and all the tabs everywhere. It can, this user can access each and everything. So like admin server, there are multiple components are there here. So if you tick on the admin server configuration manage, so this user can able to manage the admin server configuration. If you admin server health read, admin server health read, it will manage, it will able to access the admin server health read. So depending on your requirement, you can select the role and again come to administrator. In as an admin, what kind of role that you want to give. So there are a lot of options available. So event sources, if you want this user to access event sources tab, then click on event sources. If you don't want, then do not check this. So there are lot of options are available that you can define according to your requirement. So alerting, in alerting tab, how what kind of role you want to give. View rules, alert rules. If you click, the user will able to view the rules. If you click, user able to view the alerts. Manage rules means the user can edit the rule, user can change the rule. So so depends on you how, what kind of roles that you want to give. Config server, on config server, what kind of access you want to give. Content server, so it's a long list here. So depending on requirement, you just choose the component and give the respective access to the user. Here I'm clicking yes. So role name role name is SOC L1. SOC L1 is created, and you can assign this role to anyone. Now external group mapping platform is not configured for Active Directory PAM. Here we can integrate Active Directory of PAM. So instead of local login, we can integrate Active Directory. We can access this RSA Netwitness through Active Directory or IPAM. These are the basic setting: maximum password length, uppercase, lowercase, anything. So you can define here. Now PKI setting. Here you have to define certificate. If you are using SSL, any kind of, if any log source using SSL, here you have to add that certificate. Login banner. Here in login banner, you can just give the banner that you want to be notified. You want you to notify your user with some kind of information. You can write here and enable it. Okay. So here you can change this. Single sign-on setting. Single sign-on setting. You can enable single sign-on setting if you have any SSO. So we have completed the admin module of RSA Netwitness. Now in next video we will see investigate tab, how to do investigation and how to perform, download the logs, how to create reports and all. So bye bye, see you in the next video.